welcome to my channel. My name is Elizabeth Oko, you can call me Liz. So in today's episode of the Journey to the Returnees, I'll be talking all about how I went from a content writer to deciding I wanted to be an author. So as you may know, if you're a writer, there are different things you can do with your writing. You can be a content writer, which involves like writing content for articles, blog posts, for platforms online and stuff like that. You can be a journalist, you can be a copywriter, you can be an editor, and of course you can go on to write books and become an author. So that's what I'll be covering today, from just being a content writer, providing articles, blog posts and creative writing series on my blog and on the company's platforms I was working on, to deciding to become an author. And with this, the theme of this episode would be feel the fear but do it anyway. So yes, like I explained in my previous episodes, I started a blog. So I started this blog in 2014. By this time it was my last year of university. I was about to graduate when I decided to make that decision. So I started blogging, and the blogging for me was initially meant to be like an online portfolio, to have all my creative work on there so I could show prospective clients. But soon after I got back to London, it sort of really changed and just developed into something bigger than I initially thought it would be. So as you can imagine, just done from university and back to London, it's a big city with so many things going on. I was so excited to be in London, feeling like, oh, I'm a graduate. I'm trying to network and just meet like-minded people. So I was going to lots of events, networking events, career focused events, even just like socializing, meetups and stuff. And I quickly sort of realized I was meeting amazing people with amazing stories. And because at that point I had the idea that I do want to be an entrepreneur, but I wasn't quite sure what my product or service would be. So I just thought, going for all these sort of events would sort of open me up to, people who were on the same journey, people who had, past where I was, and I could just learn and ask them questions and glean as much information from them. So as I was going to this event, I realized, wow, I'm discovering so many amazing things. But when you're there, you can't, speak to one person at length and hear all about their story. So what I immediately started doing was telling them, oh, you know what, I have a blog, I love your story, I would like to interview you and share with my followers and my audience. And that's how my whole interview series on my blog started. If you're wondering, my blog was previously called Shower Folly, but I've sort of rebranded the whole website and it's now my name, Elizabeth Oko. So I was just having these interviews with like really inspirational people, and the more I thought about it and the more I interviewed people, I realized I was sort of shying away from my own truth. So while I was saying, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, I knew deep down what I really wanted to be was an author. I wanted to write books, but I was scared because I sort of thought to myself, are you sure this is what you want to do? Would this be able to sustain you? So I researched into the industry, how much do authors earn and things like that, because obviously if I'm going to put all my energy into this, I have to make a living out of it. And the figures were not what word should I use? They were not assuring. They weren't like the best figures out there, because I think we tend to know about much more famous authors who are well known all over the world. Not everyone who's an author becomes that big and sort of makes such a living. So being realistic, I sort of said, okay, I'm just starting out. I'll be just maybe having the first book, so what would this be like for me? So yeah, that was one of the issues. The other thing was like telling my parents as well, because obviously my parents usually supportive of what I want to do, but when it comes to the career, it's like, okay, would you be able to sustain yourself with this? So that was sort of the thing, like, okay, I'm gonna tell them an author. I went to university to study psychology and sociology, so I was a bit scared about that. But I think the most for me was just that nagging thought in my head was like, you think you're good enough? All of a sudden you want to be an author, what do people say? People would laugh at you, you know, all this sort of like strange and negative thoughts that comes into people's head. And of course that is what fear does to you, which is why I said the theme of this episode is all about feeling the fear but doing it anyway. So for a while I was a bit like, you know, fearful of all of that. Obviously I was still a content writer working for the company I'd started working for, which I talked about in my previous video. If you haven't watched that video, just, you know, I'll put the link down below and maybe put a button up there for you to check it out. But yeah, do check it out and catch up. So I was still doing content writing, but I knew I wanted to write books, write novels, write fiction and stuff. So yes, it was overcoming that. So for me the biggest thing was, well, one of the biggest things I guess, and the first step to becoming an author was overcoming that fear. And in my interview series on my blog, I kept telling people like, oh, you know, abandon fear, you know, feel the fear, do it anyway, you know, pursue your truth, pursue what you're passionate about. And here I was, really passionate and knowing within myself I wanted to become an author, I wanted to write books and novels, but I was shying away from it all because of the same fear. So I had to tell myself, stop being a hypocrite, you know. You're writing all these things and telling people and inspiring them to go for their dreams, but here you are sort of shying away from yours. So I made a decision. I was like, you know what, now while I'm still young, living at home, you know, don't have so much bills, don't have responsibilities of like a family of my own or like kids and stuff like that, will be the best time to do this. And if it doesn't work out, I know within myself I tried. So one big thing about me is regrets. I do not love anything about regrets so far, at all. So I always weigh my options. Even though sometimes they're risky, I do say something like what's the word I use? So I tend to take risks, but I take calculative ones. So I knew I was sort of in the right position to take this big jump. And you know what? If it doesn't work, then I still have number of years ahead of me to like build my career in the media industry. So as soon as I sort of came around to thinking about that, my whole mindset began to change, and I'm a person of faith, so I just knew, you know what, I feel this strong calling to pursue this path. I have to follow through, and if I feel it so strongly within the depths of myself, then I know it's not just me pursuing something vain, or it's not just me trying to force myself onto something, but it's something almost innate and something almost divine. I felt like I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't ignore that intuition of, this is what you want to do, you'll be fine, go through this route. It's not going to be easy, I knew that for sure, but I knew it was a step I need to take, and that was the first step, overcoming fear. So yeah, I think I'll end this episode there so it's not too long. So yeah, the whole feel the fear, you know, but do it anyway is true. And I also have something I say to myself, fear becomes a constant companion. So not just a companion, but a nagging companion. So it's always going to be there with you. The more you take risks and stuff, it's not just going to disappear. Like even like, you know, the most I guess wealthiest people, most successful people and stuff, they still do have their own fears in their own way. The only thing I've sort of discovered on this journey is it's like the more you sort of embrace fear and decide on what you want to do, the easier it becomes to just like, you know, go for whatever you want to go for. I'm gonna end this video here. This is all about feeling the fear, abandoning fear, just doing it anyway. Because there would always be something that's going to creep up that's going to make you doubt yourself, but you really have to believe in what you want to do. And I think if it's truth, if it's your truth, if it's you feel strongly about it and you sort of devise a plan, you know, because the plan will take you a long way. Just because you decide to go for your dreams doesn't mean all the doors will part open. But if you have a plan, you have a strategy, you have your faith on your side, and you just work. You will get there. I hope this video helps inspire you in some way. If there's something you want to pursue and you're having doubts about it, or you're sort of like a bit scared about the outcome and the process and all of that, I will say do go for it. Feel the fear, but do it anyway. I'll catch you in my next episodes, which I'll be continuing the journey to the returnees. So the returnees comes out on the 11th of June. You can order it from Amazon, from Waterstones, WH Smiths, and so many other booksellers. I cannot wait for you guys to have it in your hands and just read about the world I created. It's so exciting, you know, how far I've come, and now it's almost here. Amazing. Thanks for tuning in this episode of the Journey to the Returnees, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye bye.